Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Valentari of PowerUpsNotIncluded.com, and this is a hard mode run of Ys, the Oath in Felghana. It is a game that is now available on Steam for $14.99, and it is an HD reimagining of the old Super Nintendo game Wanderers from Ys. Just about everything in the soundtrack was copied over and then reorchestrated, and it is gorgeous, so I am not going to talk over too much of it. It's a great game, and definitely recommend if you're going to pick it up, get yourself a USB controller because you will be needing it. This game is hard on the hands if you try to play with a keyboard. So anyways, enjoy. I'll pipe up in every now and then with little factoids. You'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner, right above my experience and health bar, there's some little colored bars. The blue one is a temporary boost to my defense, yellow temporary boost to magic regeneration, which I don't have any magic spells yet, and the orange one is actually a temporary boost to experience. Now there's a red one as well for damage. Now the experience one is probably the most important one. With each consecutive hit, you increase your experience gain by 0.01%. up to a maximum of 1.99%, or basically double experience per kill. This stays until the bar depletes, but you can keep it together or keep it higher by chaining, your attacks. So basically, if you move from one fight to the next quicker, you can speed up the leveling process, and it is needed for this game. This game is balls-crushingly hard. I'm not gonna lie. Though I kind of make it look easy. Hello, the one O'Shea. I kind of make it look easy here, even on hard mode, because I over-grind this stuff off camera. So I'm going to be skipping over a lot of the cutscenes and stuff, speeding through it, because, again, this is my second playthrough. You have to play through normal in order to unlock hard. So I'm going to let you enjoy the mine music, and I'll be back. Now, you might have noticed that there are, or you might have heard that there are no healing items in the game, and that is true. You cannot heal up with potions or anything like that. The only way to restore health is either to visit a shrine, like this one right here, or to pick up little mini herbs and stuff that fall on the ground when you defeat enemies. It's really not all that hard to stay alive, and also there is a puzzle you can solve later on that gives you a cloak that heals you as long as you're standing still for like 10 seconds. It's pretty good for in between big fights like this. So, in a moment here, it cuts the video. A little bit of a time lapse. I decided, like I said, since this is hard mode and normal mode was crazy hard, I thought surely the bosses will have new attacks. They'll have things I'm not expecting. So I thought it's probably good if I do some off-camera grinding. So I grind from level 4 here up to level 7, and honestly it was not all that terribly necessary, though the money did help. I got some increased gear and stuff, but you'll see that later on. So anyways, the video cuts here, and then I continue on with the dungeon, and I get to the next section here. So the Ravel ore that you just saw me get is what's used for upgrading your gear at the smith. This over here is a jump you can't make yet. You get a skill later on once you get across there. But the Ravel ore, you need mass quantities of it in order to get some of the best weapon upgrades. Each weapon and both pieces of armor have a maximum of 3 levels. And some of the higher level stuff requires 700 pieces of ore just to gain 1 level, so it's important to scour the world for all the treasure chests so you can get all the ore. And this mine is basically this town's source of the ore, and of course it's infested with monsters, as is traditional for RPG fare. So at this point I knew that there was the first boss fight coming up, and my thought process was, before I go get the magic MacGuffin that allows me to cast the game's first magic spell, I would go back to town, and using that Ravel ore that I got, I would upgrade my current armor to max level. It's only one piece of ore per upgrade. However, as you will see in the video, I made a different decision. As soon as I got to town, I noticed that the next level sword was more powerful than the upgraded sword would have been, and I had just enough gold after all my insane grinding to get just the next sword up. So I decided to get that instead. And then I cut the video again because I went back down into the mines and grinded out another, I think it's, 650 gold for the chainmail. I went and grinded that rather than, again, upgrading. So I came here to upgrade, and then I decided not to do so. So in a minute here, again, the video is going to cut away. And I checked to see, I'm like, oh, I'll just upgrade the sword. Nope, need 7 pieces. I only have 5, so... The video cuts away in my inventory, and I come back, and you'll see miraculously I have a new piece of armor. So that is what this game really drives you to, is to do a lot of EXP grinding, because the bosses really are that hard. I know I make it look easy in this video, but honestly, the first boss was a killer for me until I figured out the pattern. Second boss, even with my grinding and my preparations, I still die. And you know what? I left the deaths in this video. So, just to prove that I am human and all the grinding in the world does not make this game cake. Stop, the strange voice said, strangely. All right, so this is I think his name is Dularn. He was just the first boss of the original Wanderers from Ys. Um, he gets more of a role in the actual in the remake. Actually gets a story and a bit of character development. And this is not the first time or the last time that you see him in the game. So I was actually kind of interested to see that. I did not know the character's name. It was just, like I said, it was just a random boss in Wanderers from Ys 3. So. And with that, the fight is already over. First attempt. I probably died to him about 6 or 7 times in normal. But like I said, once you learn the patterns, unfortunately that's where a lot of the difficulty in this game comes from, is learning the patterns. And once you've known them, the game's really easy. So I'm hoping it gets harder. So here's my first magic item. Lets me cast the fireball spell. Fireball, it just, I mean, it does exactly what the name implies. You can chain cast them, or later on, once you get a ruby, you can charge it up. These replace the ring system that was found in Wanderers from Ys 3, so no more paying that stupid bitch, gold to recharge your magic. Dewey the Miner was not blowing smoke up your ass. You really do need that magic bracelet to survive down here. There's these little worm things coming up, like, I guess they're like little slugs. Your sword attacks, even keep in mind, I've got a sword higher than the one I'm supposed to have right now. They still only do 2 damage to the thing, and it's got like 300 hit points. So there are creatures like that in every dungeon that are immune to physical attack and require the magic attacks. I guess it's to get you to mix it up a little bit and kind of get you used to using your special powers, because just about every single boss in the game requires the use of a certain magic power in a certain kind of way. So like I said, that's where the real challenge of this game comes through. If you're going to play the game, I recommend that you do not consult a walkthrough. That ruins the fun. I did not. I beat this game without using a walkthrough, and I feel like I'm better for it. There were a couple of fights that were just, I could not figure out the boss's weakness or the pattern or the way around special attack or something. It was extremely frustrating, but I stuck through it, and when I finally beat each one, it was that much more rewarding. So I do recommend it, unless you're the wuss, in which case have at it, go fuck it up. At this point, we're almost to the second boss, or the real first boss. Honestly, Dularn was kind of a wuss, but this over here is a good demonstration of what this game is really all about. And no, not getting knocked on your ass, though that is kind of funny. It's about exploration, really, and hacking and slashing. There are a lot of puzzles in the game. They're not, distinctly labeled as such, but there's just like that jump earlier that the game highlighted for us that we couldn't make. There's a special ability later on that lets you twirl in the air. Does wind damage, and it lets you make that jump. Just like, you know, if you weren't looking or paying attention, you wouldn't have seen that you need to light that thing on fire to get the ruby. Now that unlocks the charge magic, where you can send a bigger fireball that actually explodes when it hits enemies. So I tested out once, and I think I tested out twice. Again, just for its area effect damage. So that is pretty necessary for beating this upcoming boss. So again, exploration is key. If you don't get that ruby, chances are this boss is going to be a nightmare because you need to be able to charge and launch that fireball at her. Now, I talked over the last boss fight, so I'm not going to talk over this one. I do die a couple times. Dying just, I mean, you have the choice of going back to the title screen or just restarting the fight. Any items used, like resurrection stuff, they go back to being unused. So you can try again as if the fight never happened. So it's really useful. And anyways, enjoy. I'm not really going to talk over the rest of the video. Again, for powerupsnotincluded.com, I am Valentari, and here is the first real boss of Ys the Oath in Felghana. Enjoy. So there you have it, the first real boss in Ys the Oath in Felghana, and honestly, like I said, this game is so worth the money, so go pick it up at Steam right now. Do it. I'm serious.